Well, welcome, you guys. I thank you guys for coming. I appreciate the good day you have today. Is it sunny and warm out there? A little bit. I don't know. I haven't seen it, but that's good. Just to tell a little bit about where we're at going into the 13th practice here. I'm very comfortable with the last couple of days of practice. I thought we had our units are very have a lot of played with a lot of energy and played with unity. I thought and a little bit of excitement the last two practices, and it took a while to get there. But I'm happy with that progress. Are we there? Are we close yet? We still have a long ways to go to play a game yet and to see. But I just like the way the group is going. I think the front is progressing up front. The linebackers obviously are experienced, and they've got much better with Coach Reed handling the inside linebackers and the bar outside. So I think that's really been working really well. And then basically in my role right now, is also taken over the secondary, which has been good for me to get back in the room with the kids and teach them football, so that's been good. So it's kept me pretty busy and more involved in tune with the secondary. So I'm very happy at this stage where we're at. And we got 3 days here, we can get a lot of work done and see some jumps with some guys. So as that goes, I'll leave it up to you guys to some questions.
When that opportunity presented itself for you to go back and coach the secondary along with continuing your role as defensive coordinator, was that something that you just were immediately wanting to jump at, or did you have to give that a lot of thought?
No, I didn't really give it a lot of thought. I thought, I was doing it for such a long time, and the year before when we went through and I wasn't actually in the meetings, you kind of missed it and was looking for, the opportunity came back. So I was pleased to get back there, so there was no hesitation for me to go back.
Are you going to stay upstairs during games, or?
I haven't even thought about that yet. I talked to a couple guys on our staff where they like to be. I still like, it was good for me last year to be up in the box and away from some things, but I think when you're coaching the secondary, sometimes you need to be eyeball to eyeball on the field and be more in touch with the atmosphere on the field. So that hasn't been decided yet, and I'm not really worried about it right now.
Safety
Coach
play.
Ferentz has mentioned that Carl Davis is a guy who's made a lot of progress this spring. Can you talk about his progress and also who in the defensive line you're liking right now, who's made progress?
Well, I think Carl is, obviously has a lot of athletic ability and played a little bit last year, and sometimes he can really be a hard guy to block. And he's a 315-pound. Very, very good athlete that can move, and we just got to be a little bit more consistent. I think he's starting to enjoy football a little bit, and I think he enjoys coming out to practice, and that's helping him with his, his progress he's doing. So we're very happy with him. Some other guys. Drew Ott was a guy on the outside that we played last year. Halfway through the season, we pulled his red shirt off and played him. I thought he was doing some real good things before he had to sit out a couple practices. Elvis, I thought, is really. To me, Dom has done a great job and really playing well, this whole spring, and I'm happy with his progress. So Louis is out, he's sitting out this spring, so he gives Cooper a chance to come out and do a little bit thing, and Cooper was a little bit hurt, but he's progressing. And so I'm looking forward to it, and Faith is another kid that, if we're going to play him inside or outside, we have a chance to move him around. He's very athletic and he can run. So it's still a work in progress. I still like to play 8 to 10 guys in that position, especially where offenses are leading to play hurry up and catch guys off guard and try to run as many plays as they can. Everybody wants to play a game and a half on offense and say, look how many yards we have, but it's a game and a half. So if you're going to do that, you better have 8 to 10 guys, fresh guys, who go out there and execute, as long as it doesn't throw you off of them actually being efficient out there.
At safety, you had a lot of talent, but a lot of inconsistent play last year. Do you feel like you've been able to smooth out some of that with Nico, for instance, and then Tanner was kind of up and down at times?
Well, one thing about it is I don't mind guys getting beat if they're contested and the plays are contested. And I think we gave up too many. You look at how many big plays we give up and compared to the year before and the years in the past, and very similar numbers. Just probably some of them are probably a little bit uncontested for running free, and I think a year of experience for Nico's probably done him some good, understanding the system a little bit and getting familiar with it. Tanner's done a better job of staying focused and trying to be a leader back in the secondary along with BJ and obviously BJ, in my opinion, is playing at his highest level that he has right now, and I hope he continues that. But I think he was banged up last year. I think Carl Davis landed on him and hurt him a little bit one time, 315-pound guy. So he really wasn't the same after that Carl landed on him. So I think he's been doing pretty good progress, but I think they've all been kind of working together and starting to form a good unit.
We haven't seen much of Jordan Lomax, right? He's been on the top of the depth chart all spring. What does he show you on a daily basis?
One thing about a kid missing a whole year, the one thing that is a very smart, intelligent kid, and he paid attention all last year, just learning the system and what we're asking our guys to do. And he's shown up in practice, and he's done a very, very good job. Very smart kid, fundamentally sound, and so I really like his encouragement. He's a quiet leader, and he's done a good job there. So I'm not stamping him in there as my starter yet, but somebody has to line up in the first group right now. But I think he's done a very, very good job.
Do you see the defensive line being relied on for, as usual, for the most of the pass rush, providing most of the pass rush for this defense?
Well, usually, you take 85 snaps, and if you're playing base defense, they're going to get the majority of the pass rush. All depends on how many passes they throw, but sometimes you got to add a little bit to it, to the pass rush. Maybe try to get some other guys that can rush the passer. We'll try to work on that a little bit through the off season in the summertime. Maybe have some guys practice doing that, and obviously doing tour days. But for right now, that's who it's going to be, and we'll try to add some guys in the near future.
Coach, talk about putting pressure on the quarterback a little bit more. Last year, you guys only had 13 sacks, which was last in the Big Ten. It seemed at the spring practice, we didn't see a lot of the pressure on the quarterback. Are you concerned about getting to the quarterback, or do you feel that some of the guys are slowly starting to progress and show quickness in getting to the quarterback at all? Or?
I think there's some guys that have some knack to get there. I think Carl Davis obviously has an inside guy, and obviously Cooper as an inside guy can help you. And I think Dominic outside can get you on the edge. But we might have to create some situations a little bit more to help them out, and maybe add some guys to the rush a little bit to help them out. It's hard to get there when you got five guys blocking 4. So we all understand that. It's just my biggest thing is try not to give up big plays, and I think the game is still about scoring and not giving up points. That's the most important thing. And I think for the last 2 years we were 24, and then last year we were 23. So that is my main concern is points, I think.
After you're assuming both roles, sort of a two-part question. Especially as you get into the season where you're doing the game planning and everything else, and doing the position coaching, I'm interested in your time allotment. Is it a matter of running faster and jumping higher, or how you're juggling that? The second part, ultimately, was that really the answer to Kurt's decision?
And what
Going back to the position coach as well as the
I think, okay. Well, I think the one thing about it is only 24 hours in a day, so you got to be real efficient in what you're doing, and the way we do it, a lot of our guys have input of what we're doing and trying to keep focused on what we're doing. But I think I've been in the secondary for a long time, so it's kind of easy for me just to walk in the room and be able to get guys to what I need to understand with it. So that really hasn't changed for me. As a matter of fact, I just enjoy it better. It gets me in touch with the guys a little bit. So my role changed. I don't know if we can put any more hours in the day, so I'm gonna have to speed something up. But I think it was more of a mutual agreement for me to go back to the secondary. Darryl Wilson had an opportunity to leave and go to Rutgers, and he's done a very good job there. And so it was an opportunity for me to meet with Kirk a little bit, and he was more open to it, and there's more of a mutual agreement with that.
You've
You
got
kind of struggled on getting off the field on third down. How much of that was experience, depth, and how better suited are you to be a better team and getting off the field on 3 downs?
Well, it's obviously everybody wants to get off on third downs, and I guess when you go through it, the guys have to understand. I think the guys have done a great job of at least in the last 2 months of being around the guys and getting back at it, of understanding the game of football, and really after a while, when you study guys and understand the game, it's gonna help you what they're trying to do on third down. And I think we need to do a better job of that, so they understand what plays they're gonna see, instead of, saying it's a personnel issue, or you're not blitzing enough, but to me, it's just about understanding the game.
You've got 3 redshirt freshmen in your 2 deep on the defensive line. Do you see them contributing heavily? Faith Cackney and Jaleel Johnson were heavily recruited and highly touted. What kind of attributes do they have, and do you see them making a big push to play this fall?
Yeah, I think Faith is, he's probably the most intriguing guy. I mean, I think he can play inside, and I think he can play outside from end. I mean, I'm very impressed the way he can run and move, and, we moved him out here late a little bit at the end, so that's probably had 4 or 5 days of practice there, so we're intrigued by putting him out on the edge. And, Jaleel's done a great job inside, very strong and big kid, and it's hard to move him. So, they're still a ways away, they're still young pups yet, but I think they're definitely gonna have to help us out next year.
What's Jim Reed brought in terms of